Hi my student, you are welcome to the class of mathematics, but before continuing, I would like to remind you, make sure you subscribe on my YouTube channel, what we call Sanfaume Online, in order to get more tutorial videos concerning with mathematics subject. Okay, today we are continuing with our solving, but for today we have a quadratic equation here. It is given that f of x equals to negative 2x squared plus 3x plus 5, and we need to find domain and range. As you see here, domain and range, maximum or minimum value, the value of f of 1 and f of negative 1, to sketch the graph of this one, and something like that. Okay, first of all, you have to understand, for instance here, for the first case, we need to find the domain and range of that f of x. Always for any quadratic equation which is written in form of f of x equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. So for any quadratic equation, its domain, it's supposed to be equal to all real numbers. So domain is x, so that x is element of all real number. That is a given. It is a compulsory. Otherwise, there's a given value of x. If you don't have any given value of x, domain, it must be all real number. But in case you have given the value of x, then domain will be that value of x. But for the question which doesn't have any value of x, you didn't given value of x, then domain must be all real number. Okay, so domain for quadratic equation is all real number if you don't have given value of x. But also in case you have given value of x, then domain will be that value of x. Okay, how about a range? Range for the quadratic range, it depends on the nature of the equation. Maybe this f of x, this quadratic equation, which is written in form of ax squared plus bx plus c, is it maximum or minimum value? So range it divided into two categories. The first category for the maximum value and the second category for the minimum value. So you have to understand it. So in case the quadratic equation, it is a maximum value, then its range will be given by taking y such that y, this is for maximum value, that y is less or equal to 4ac minus b squared over 4a. This is a range for the maximum value. But in case your function it is a minimum value, then range will be written like this one. Range is y, so that y will be greater or equal to 4ac minus b squared over 4a. So we're supposed to use these formulas for calculating range, and this one is for the maximum value and this one is for the minimum value. Okay, but how to understand if this function provides a maximum value or this function provides a minimum value? For instance, you have the certain function, this one, let's say you have f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. To find if this is a maximum value or minimum value, you're supposed to look at the value of a here. So you have to look the value of a, or I can say you have to check the coefficient of x squared. This coefficient of x squared, when it is negative coefficient of x squared, when this coefficient of x squared is negative, then that function, it can provide the maximum value. It will be the maximum value, and from there you will get the maximum value of the function. But in case that coefficient of x squared or that value of a, it is positive, that one will provide the minimum value. So to understand if it is a maximum value or minimum value, you have to check the coefficient of x squared, which is the value of a. Either it is negative or positive. When that value of a is negative, that one will be the maximum value, and when that a is positive, that one will be the minimum value. Do not confuse on it. So simply, range in a quadratic equation, this range in a quadratic equation, it depends. For the first case, for the maximum value, ambapo tunafahamu kabisa for the maximum value, which is written in form of f of x is equal to negative ax squared plus bx plus c. This negative show this is a maximum value. So this negative show this is a maximum value, and because this is a maximum value, then its range must be y such that y, because this is a maximum value, y such that y must be less or equal to 4ac minus b square divided by 4a, something like this one. Okay, but in case your function it provides a minimum value, for instance, you have the certain question like this one. Let us write this question here. Assume you have a question f of x equals to a x squared plus bx plus c. This one, this function, it provides the minimum value. Why I say this is a minimum value? Because here, when you look at the coefficient of x squared, this a is positive. Since it is positive, then actual must be the minimum value. And since it is a minimum value, then its range, it can be y such that y is greater or equal to 4ac minus b square over 4a. That is two conditions you have to understand. Okay, by that reason, now I can solve our question. Let us shift it to our question. From our question there, this one, from this question, let us maximize this one. From this question, it is given that our f of x here, our f of x equals to negative 2x squared plus 3x then plus 5. This one, f of x equals negative 2x squared plus 3x then plus 5. We need to find domain and range. As I said before, domain always must be its own number in case you don't give any value of x. And if for the range, it depends. Either it is a maximum or it is a minimum. Okay, so now for this question, will be solved like this one. It is given f of x is equal to negative 2x squared plus 3x then plus 5. We need to find domain and the range from this question. Okay, in order to find the domain and range, first you have to understand this is a maximum value or minimum value. Okay, this one, coefficient of a is negative. That means this one is a maximum value. Okay, so the domain now, domain will be x, such that x is element of all real number, because I know domain always is all real number for the quadratic function in case you don't have any value of x which is given. Okay, for the range, because I know this is negative, since this coefficient of y is negative, then automatically this one will be the maximum value, and since it is a maximum value, then range will be given by taking y such that y will be less or equal to 4ac minus b square over 4a. Why? Because this one is a maximum value. Nimejuaje kama hii ni maximum value? Kwa sababu coefficient of a here is, coefficient of x square here is negative, or the value of a here is negative. So to define if it is a maximum or minimum, you have to check the value of a. As we see here, this is the value of a, this is the value of b, this is the value of c. Since my value of a is negative 2, that means this is a negative, and this, because the value of a is negative, my function is maximum. Because it is a maximum value, then range will be y such that y is less or equal to 4ac minus b square over 4a, something like this one. Okay, let me calculate my range. So my range will be y such that y is less or equal to, I'm supposed to plug the value of 4ac minus b square over 4a. So this one will be 4 times a. What is value of a? It is negative 2 times c. What is value of c? It is 5. This is 4ac minus b square. What is the value of b? My value of b is 3, so it would be 3 square divided by 4a. 4 times a, but what is value of a is negative 2, something like this one. Okay, from there, range will be y, such that y is less or equal to, that one, when you multiply this 4 times 2, we get 8. 8 times 5 we get 40, but that is negative 2. Now become negative 40, this one. Then minus 3 square. Minus 3 square, that means 3 square, it is 3 times 3, so it will be minus 9. Then divide by 4 times negative 2, that is actually equals to negative 8. Then from there, my range is y, such that y is less or equal to, for that one, negative 4 minus that one, I'll find equals to negative 49 over negative 8. But when you take 49 divided by 8, actually this one, range will be y, such that y will be less or equal to, here when you divide, you will find 6.125, something like this one. So my range is y, such that y is less or equal to this one. And for the case of the domain, it's supposed to be all real number. Why is all real number? Because from my quadratic equation, there is no any value of x which is given. That's why it's supposed to be all real number. Okay, I think you understand what I mean. You have to stay tuned for the next question. Goodbye for this moment.